Alright. Press start. And... I think I'm live? Well, either way. Hello everyone! Welcome to the stream that I promised I was gonna be back in the next week or so, and then it was 3 weeks later. Anyway, hi! I am joined by my usual co-host, Cybernetic Pink Eye.
Hello, as the children say.
And as you can see, there's not presently anything on the screen, but I am going to be having something pop up here in just a second, but I just wanted to give a little bit of a, pretext for that. So recently, there was, among other things, there were quite a few sales on Steam that I decided to kind of pop around and see what was available. And in the process, I ended up uncovering at least a handful of software things related to stuff that I want to be doing down the line, including something called VRoid Studio, hence the title of today's stream. Hello, Shikarian. Hello, John Morrison. Take as much time as you need between streams. I appreciate that, but one, I want to do it more often because I want to be streaming more often. It's just a matter of whether or not my health or other circumstances are impacting my ability to actually sit down and do the streaming, among other things. But hopefully that's going to be changing about a week or so from now. But we'll see how that goes. I still have a lot to do to get ready for that.
Fingers crossed.
But in the meantime, want to see me fuck around with, yep, we're past the 1 minute mark, fuck around with virtual modeling?
So I think you need a separate streaming site for that, but...
Not necessarily.
I suppose if you don't mind being demonetized.
I wouldn't do the visual fucking.
Yes.
Anyway. Let's see, there we go. So this is a base model that I started working on before, and it is my OC from the D&D campaign, Ophelia. And this is just a default outfit. I don't have any additional clothes to actually put on her at this point. But I wanted to get a little bit of practice in using this program to be able to actually design effectively a either VTuber thing or just like a 3D model to use for different kinds of things out there.
Yeah.
And I figured...
Also, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I will say, I understand that that's part of the default thing going on, but not gonna lie, short-haired Ophelia kind of rocks.
Well, I'm glad you agree. Anyway, is it bad the first thing I thought was VTuber well, yeah. It's not a bad thing, because that's actually kind of why I grabbed this in the first place. I would love to actually try my hand at some VTuber shit, because while I'm not necessarily inherently opposed to putting my face out there, I would feel probably a bit more comfortable if I wasn't quite necessarily putting my face out there.
That's
anyway,
right. Comedrian's been dabbling in that as of late.
Everyone's been dabbling in that as of late.
Yeah, so, it does seem to be a trend, doesn't it?
The fact that it was the first thing I thought of. It's a trend, so naturally it's the first thing you thought of.
I saw this post the other day that pissed me the hell off, only because it's true. I forget whether it was on Twitter or Tumblr, but someone saying, the annoying orange was the first VTuber.
Not exactly, but I can see why there's a degree of truth to that.
Because I think they had their own LP channel at some point.
So, what I wanted to point out about this character... this is actually not the default skin texture. I actually did already go in and adjust a couple of textures in the way. Nice. The base model doesn't have rouge on it, doesn't have the little blushy thing that's going on, and it does not have the lipstick. I made a couple of attempts at trying to do eyeshadow for her, but unfortunately all of my attempts were terrible, and the thing is that in the future I might end up commissioning someone else to actually put together the any additional makeup that I might want to put on a character, whether it's this one or my own individual VTuber model or something along those lines.
VTuber artists have been making a killing as of late.
Yes. Hey, Phoenix, and the pirate at the beginning of SpongeBob intro was the first VTuber.
God,
You know, a little bit.
Yeah, I guess should we consider like John Kenny to be the first VTuber?
No, I
Uh,
refuse. So, even just a couple of details. I did also adjust the eye texture because there
yeah.
is actually like a default um, eye texture. It's gonna take a second here, I guess. So, irises, cool. All right. So there's gonna zoom out a little bit so you guys can see this a little bit better. Can I scoot that? I can't scoot that right now. Oh, now I can scoot that apparently. Anyway, so the first texture that it actually defaults to is the mouth texture, because of course it is. Those are the teeth and those are the tongues, and I don't know what that bottom texture is. I'm assuming it's the rest of the internal of the mouth.
Yeah, like the gums and all that.
Probably. But yeah, so going to the eyes. Go to the eyes. Let's go to the irises. Let's go to this one. And you actually have at least a handful of options. Let's see, this one. Okay, so this is the one that I'm going to briefly remove the visibility for that. Because this is what the toggle visibility. So this is what the default iris actually looks like.
Ooh.
So what I did was that I ended up taking that as well as some of the guidelines that they actually have in this, and like I could give like a detailed breakdown of exactly how this happens, but basically short version, exported this texture, used Clip Studio Pro or Clip Studio Paint Pro to edit it and to actually put together the irises that I now have. Since this is specific to my character, Ophelia. She has somewhat unusual of an eye color, including the center of her eyes actually supposed to have something of like a little bit of a blue glow coming out of them. So, to simulate that, there's green eyes with a blue pupil, I guess? Anyway.
Yeah, and this could just be me, like, misinterpreting it, but, like, not gonna lie, getting a very galaxy feel from those pupils. Like, they look like they got a bunch of shiny stars in them.
Okay, so what does this look like? What does this change? Oh, that's what changes. Okay, so we're gonna go with that. What's on this one? Toggle visibility of that. Nothing changes. Okay. This is probably the layer I was supposed to be on, and this one, toggle the visibility on the guides. Well, bye. Alright, so default image, it has the yellow rim on it, which is interesting to me. Does not quite fit what I want for the character. So one of the nice things about this program is that you can actually edit shit live. So this even shows you the guidelines for like the eyes. There's faint lines in there, and I don't know how well that translates to this stream overall. Come to think of it, we've been picking up more Eastern culture stuff nowadays, VTuber stuff, video games, meditation, anime, movies. It's
yeah,
like all of human culture is being merged together, and I'm all, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, that's sort of assimilation / appropriation, depending on who you talk to, has been going on for a long time, Phoenix. Do you mind, Portland?
Yes. I mean, of course, you talk about assimilation and appropriation, and of course, you know, Portland has to object.
That is Portland's anthem, after all. I say jokingly, obviously. Well, half jokingly, anyway.
Let's see.
God, but yeah, something I've found interesting as of late, specifically with the VTuber thing, is that a lot of people have been using their like VR chat personas as their VTuber models, which I find pretty interesting. I'm not sure what wizardry they pull, because a specific thing I've seen with some VR chat videos, because I follow like one or two like VR chat channels, is that apparently they've got some system in place where like the person playing VR chat can bring around, I guess, like a personal like floating camera, so that when they're streaming in VR chat, they always it's like the VR chat person is taking selfies so that you can always see them in addition to what they're doing in like the game. And I think some of them also do some green screen stuff when they're doing the VR chat, like let's play stuff. It's really interesting to see like the different approaches people take when it comes to VTubing.
Okay, let's try something different. Let's see. Do you let me draw on you? None of you are letting me draw on you. What do I do? Okay, that's not helping.
So John Morrison asks, how much does this program cost? It looks interesting.
Free.
Ooh, damn.
Alright, so is the only... I have an eraser on. Is that what's happening? Is that the reason why I was having problems with each one of these layers?
I've run into that issue with Photoshop, yeah. Also, Shakarian says, very pretty.
Okay, but... Oh, that's why I did have it set to the fucking eraser. Yes, thank you. I think it's free. I remember it being free. I can even double check that to confirm.
Yes, fact check time.
Yep, it is free.
Nice. And VRoid Studio is what is it called?
VRoid Studio, yes.
Okay, cool. So you heard it from her first, guys. If you want to check this out and give it your own shot, go ahead, look it up, download it, or however you acquire it for free, and give your own personal spin on things. I see you, Phoenix. That guy from Palatown is right. Science is amazing.
Alright, let's see. Okay. Interesting.
You'd have to pay $20 for 1 month of Photoshop. Yeah, Photoshop's kind of a bitch that way, which is why there are free alternatives to Photoshop, which are, better.
There are free alternatives to Photoshop, or there's actually, Clip Studio, it's like $50 for like the base program on the regular, which compared with like however many hundreds of dollars you spend on Adobe Photoshop over many years, or Creative Suite even. And sometimes you can get them on sale for half off, which leads to, it leads to $25 for the base program, which is what I'm using for it. Let's see. I guess. So that in itself is not great. Let's see. Okay, so I think I know what I want to do. I'm gonna try maybe this. Oh, that's why. That's why I was having a difficulty. I was doing the wrong hardness of brush.
Yeah.
So, brush parameters make that a little bit of a thick boy. There we go. That's a little bit better. That makes more sense. Okay. That is much better. So now I'm going to use the eraser intentionally.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say?
No, I apologize. I was just going to say I really should do a video on the subject of like online personas and a VR chat at some point, because I think I briefly spoke with you about possibly having that as a general video subject with some more specifics yet to be named, regarding those of you in chat. But there's just a lot of stuff that I think people like me who don't partake in it as much take for granted, but it provides a lot of benefits for a lot of people, both in the sense of just general creativity and also just self-expression in general.
Having virtual models?
Yeah, whether it's like VTuber stuff or VR chat or any of those types of things that give people like this much control of like personal presentation online.
Well, this is not working. I just want to change the color of the eye shine. Like, it's not the worst one right now, but like, you know what I should probably do? So here's what I basically did in order to, by the way, basically do the model thing, to redo the texture for it.
Right.
So what I do is right click on, so under the eye highlights, which I've got here, there's texture, layers, guides, layer, and then default image. I right click on that and I say to export it. And then it prompts me, where do you want me to export this to? How do you want to save it? So I name it, no, highlight,
Doctor No.
highlight default, and it saves it as a PNG that stores it wherever you ask it to actually store it.
Yeah.
And if I wanted to add the guidelines for it, that's what the guides layer is here for, so that you can basically see where it would be outlined in the final product. I do that too, just so that I can actually keep track of where it's going to end up in the final version, just to make sure.
Nice.
Guide. So highlight default guide. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that actually, if and when I open this up, it pops up on screen so that you guys can see me doing this. Fortunately, Clip Studio is already open. All right, cool. Already stored in here. So I'm just going to pop that off for just a second.
Reject realism, embrace stylization. I actually agree, John Morrison.
I mean, everyone gets to craft their online persona one way or another. Who's to say that it's the worst thing in the world to do so with some sort of, VR model of some kind, or virtual model, 3D model? Let's see. That could be online personas. That can be a heavy subject. I mean, there's a reason why Rantsona became something of a joke in itself.
I mean, looks itself.
Looks at your channel, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, in terms of the Rantsona thing, I've already done a video on that. But specifically, in terms of the importance of things like the VTuber genre, like VR chat and similar programs, and why it's important to like specific demographics of people more so than maybe like people like me who don't value it as much.
So,
like,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because that's the thing. Like, just because it's like, oh, this is cool little niche thing, like I might not dedicate too much time to it. Just because I might not see it as this like all important thing, does not detract from the degree of importance and significance and freedom it allows for all sorts of people who might not, be as fortunate with specific circumstances. Depending on like the circumstances of what they're dished in real life and all that jazz. Like, again, I'll save actual elaboration on that for an actual video that I may or may not put out in the future, but...
So I even just wanted to take a second to show... So this is like the skin default texture, and of course it's going to look weird when you actually import it like this. I'm going to briefly go back to the VRoid studio.
I mean, I've seen enough stretched out, face textures of G-Man to not be faced by this.
So let's go to this one, if it'll let me. All right, let's go to this one. So, as you can see, the image that it has here is, I can actually, let's make this one invisible. So that's actually the default model. And zoom out a little bit. One of the cool things about this program is that while you can absolutely decide to go and export the texture and paint on it directly, and that's how you can kind of get more precise results, you can also just directly draw in the program. I mean, I have a tablet to be able to do this, But if
Yeah.
you want to draw directly on the model in the actual program, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, science isn't pretty, Phoenix. Sometimes you gotta get down and dirty to get the results. For a second, I thought you drew a dick on her face.
I can do that too.
I mean, I can see Jess doing that.
I don't draw a lot of dicks.
It ain't easy being green.
Oh, Kermit needs to stay out of this.
Yeah, Kermit's got it bad enough.
But
His franchise was bought by Disney.
God. Well, I mean that also tracks. But alright, so let's say maybe instead of a normal blush color, I want to give her green blush. That's still way too thin of a... Why is it rapidly changing size like that? Well, okay. Anyway. But I can gently add... It is also pressure sensitive. But, you know, just give her a little bit of green blush. A little bit of green.
Now she looks like the main bad guy from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla.
Or let's just say I want to do a little bit of that. Give her a little bit of a nasty case of bags under the eyes. You know, and again, while you can draw directly on the model, it's not a great idea to do that. As you notice, it keeps getting bizarre.
Yeah, we're getting into fucking, like, Ring/Grudge territory now. Also, I look how Ragnar evidently came in on you drawing dicks on Ophelia's face.
You can't just drawing dicks on your face. What are you talking about? I'm fine. Okay, so I'm not actually going to leave this way.
Now she's turning into the ultimate warrior.
Alright, let's go back to her face. Don't need that. Anyway, so I just wanted to show, like, this was what the original thing what that actually looked like before. You can export it to your own program, to your own art program. In my case, it's Clip Studio. And here, again, you get the close-up version, and you can zoom in and be a hell of a lot more precise with it. So that now, if I want to draw a dick, I can just draw a goddamn dick. Alright, let's get this accurate. Okay.
Like that fucker from Daredevil who, like, carved a bullseye into his forehead.
Let's draw a butt. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Alright, that's enough of that. I came here to adjust the highlights. So, I'm going to open that up.
That's one of the classier butts I've seen drawn on someone's face.
So, pulls up this, just like, you know, all you see is literally just the highlights themselves. And look! Here's looking at you, kid.
Ugh.
But...
I'd rather they didn't.
So... You wanna know how I got these scars? A weird streamer accidentally misclicked while altering my textures. Oh god, don't zoom in. Again? What do you mean again? Of course again. So one of the cool things actually is, let me actually add a paper layer to this and makes it a little bit easier for me to see it. And I'm going to add another layer here because I'm just fucking thorough. So making it easier for me to actually see a highlight as I make it. So you notice this actually makes it pop out a lot more so that I can actually see all of the subtleties of the original texture of the highlight. And thus I can replicate it however I please. However, go away. I am going to do my own based on some of the brushes that I have in Clip Studio. So let's say I want to give her some more sparkly eye shines because, well, she is of an Archfey warlock. So let's say I want to make her eyes really and truly sparkle.
As if they weren't sparkly enough.
I can do that, though. I
God.
can add a spiral of sparkle.
We're going full Steven Universe on this bitch.
So then, let's just pretend, right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to pretend. I'm going to remove all of these extraneous layers. And, of course, you can't see it now because it's very light background with... But anyway, I'm going to do test sparkle.
See, now I'm just flashing back to that fucking anime trope of like the nerd with Coke bottle glasses and the spirals in them you'd see in like every anime in the 80s and 90s.
So, okay, let's close out the skin. Back to eye highlights. No. Alright. So, I have this texture here. What you can do when you do finish out your own individual like texture and you want to import it back in, you can right-click on any layer. You do have to create a new layer in order to import onto it. Otherwise, it imports it onto whatever layer you do have selected. So make sure that you actually create a new import, like a new layer for the import. But now, I have sparkles. And they're not showing up real great at this distance, but let's just, again... removing the ambiguity. Up close, you can see that there is that little spiral of sparkles.
God.
So, that's what I got for that, but that's not what I'm going to do. I just wanted to show...
stars.
I just wanted to show what the opportunity was for that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, I also have many glitter options. Oh, no. Hey.
Yes, that's absolutely right, Phoenix. The swirly glasses and stereotypical nerd voice. Basically, Alphys before Alphys.
I mean, where do you think Alphys came from?
Exactly.
But okay, so let's just add a whole bunch of sparklies, right? In fact, given how small this is going to be, I'm going to increase the particle size because otherwise it's not going to show up nearly so much. But... Alright, let's have a whole bunch of highlight sparkles, right? Okay.
God.
No need to dance around it, right?
I mean... Also, just side tangent, can I just say how fucking underrated Alphys's theme was in Undertale?
Well, that's just it. It was very simplistic, and it was, well, it gave the impression of being something kind of antsy.
Yeah.
I forgot to minimize this while I was doing this, but just so you guys can now actually see... First of all, I'm going to replace the layer that I just imported on with the new sparkle that I just did. So now, zooming in on her eyes, you can see all of those sparkles. And the sparkle actually goes over the entire eye, even off of the center iris.
Goddamn. Like, she's gone full shoujo manga.
I mean, yeah, that's the idea. She is our resident, She is our resident magical girl outside of Taiko.
Yeah, the Ojo-sama magical girl. Which is a scary combination now that I think about it.
So I can just go fucking nuts with the sparkle if I wanted.
Because that's the thing now that I think about it. Usually when it comes to magical girl animes or stories in general, the Ojo-samas are usually the characters who are eventually put in their place, quote unquote.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. I mean, to be fair, is that not also Ophelia's arc right now?
I mean... Yeah, but I mean, like, the one I'm especially thinking of is fucking Utena.
Yeah? Well, let's not talk about Utena.
Yeah, let's not say we did.
Is it a Clip Studio plugin or an entirely different... It's an entirely different program. I found it on Steam. It's actually, like I said, it's completely free. But yeah, it's not a plugin to anything else. It's its own standalone program. It's good if you have an art program to be able to do the editing on it, but it's not a requirement, and you don't need to have like an additional art program for it to be plugged into. Next up, giving to Ophelia heart-shaped eyes every time she sees Scout. Well, look.
I mean, I think that goes both ways, to be honest.
To be fair, I think he started it. But okay, let's go with that then, shall we? Let's assume, let's give her heart eyes every time
Oh,
eyes.
thrilling.
Stop. Let's give her hard eyes for every time she sees her beloved.
I've only got eyes for you, baby.
As it stands, I will say, they are broken up.
Yeah. Did you want to explain that?
This last session, Ophelia found out that her mom, well, okay, it was technically 2 sessions ago that she found out about it. But it got worse. Her mom was defeated right in front of her, and also all of reality came crushing down on her, so she decided that since all of reality was fake and it was just a game, she didn't want to play that game anymore, quit the game, broke up with her boyfriend, and left.
Kind of fucked.
Well, I forgot to change a whole bunch about the eye color here, but this can give you the basic idea anyway.
Yeah.
What I can do is I can then remove things like the guides and the other defaults, and I can try that again just to actually give the effect that I was trying to give. I mean, it's unsettling as it is, but let's try that again.
God, like, I mean...
There we go, far better, and not nearly equal at all. But it's okay. It's okay if she's a little uneven. She's in love.
You can't call her crazy.
But, anyway. Genuinely, though, she did end up breaking up with him, but it was just basically like a... Nothing makes sense about my life anymore, and I don't want to be in a relationship there. I'm pretty sure that the only reason why you care about me is because these gods that control the world decided that you're in love with me. And so, broke up with him on the spot, and we're probably going to be seeing the fallout of that as of tomorrow.
I just realized, like, an interesting, like... I mean, since Japan already seems to be fucking obsessed with isekai animes, like, especially ones with, like, 10-paragraph long names these days, an interesting idea for a fucking isekai would be, like, my boyfriend the NPC. Like, dealing with issues of, like, consent when it comes to, like, romance games and things like that.
I mean, there's room for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. So let's say instead that I want to do that particular sparkle that I was just showing off. I'm just literally showing what your options are.
Oh, yeah.
I do intend to actually move on to actual what I intend to do, but this is a good way. You can just continually import it. You don't have to close out of the program. You can do the edits and then import whatever you end up actually saving. So let's see, how does that look? That does not translate very well.
You know what? That's fair, Phoenix. That shit actually does exist already. Fair point.
And I didn't actually make a VRoid Studio visible. Alright. So yeah, as you can see, I don't think this particular shine works. For example, like this is just one of the many sparkle pencils that I have. But this doesn't quite translate very well to the full version, and so you can constantly check back and forth whether or not the model ends up looking good with the texture that you put together. So if you've got your art program open, you've got the VRoid Studio open, you can keep making those small little adjustments as you go, and you end up getting the result that you ultimately want for it. Yeah. DDLC, I mean, that is literally what that concept is.
Yeah, yeah.
So, alright, close out... not close it out, but for right now, anyway.
Boy. There's still so much I enjoy about our streams of DDLC. That was fun.
Oh, yes. Let's see.
Made better by the fucking highlight reels Pinger made.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Alright, let's see. Oh, God. So if I just want to go fucking nuts... I mean, let's just see why this wouldn't work.
Like, what stopped you up to this point?
Let's just see what the hell...
Oh, goddamn. We're going full crystal gem now.
We are the virtual gems.
There's prisms in my eyes, and I can't fucking see. Feels like I'm gonna
so
die.
now we're gonna die is what I was gonna go with.
Nice to know we're on the same page.
Alright, so let's see how that sparkle looks. It's not terrible. It's actually kind of interesting. I kind of like the idea of the rainbow sparkle.
God, actually, you know what that fucking reminds me of? It reminds me of this fucking 3D anime I found a while back. I forget what the fuck it was called, but the basic premise of it was that all the characters were like specific types of like gems and crystals, and apparently they fought like these monsters that came from like quote unquote heaven or something that were trying to collect them as food sources. Is a really weird concept because like if the characters died, they would shatter like, you know, fucking statues. I'll have to look up the fucking name of that shit because it was like interesting aesthetically, but I couldn't give it over the fact that all the characters and the soul, you know, the warriors, quote unquote, were all like, well, they were made to look like prepubescent girls in booty shorts, which I didn't much care for.
So that's interesting. That's an interesting effect. I might have to make the particles bigger for that to be particularly impactful, but I once saw an anime where soda cans look.
I've already touched on that fucking shit show.
He really has.
Yeah, I covered that in my fucking Waifu Wars video.
Which, a certain someone objected to.
Yeah, we don't talk about that certain someone anymore.
I mean, just in general, by principle, no.
Yeah.
Jesus! Oh, that's actually cool, though.
Oh, let's see. It's bound to pop up in a sec.
Well, and I'll put it directly on the screen once I get the chance to, but I just, instead of constantly toggling the VR studio in the stream, I'm just like, you'll see the end result of it eventually. I've already shown the process at least a couple of times now. But let's see. Ooh. Again, it's an interesting idea. And I'm also testing this out. This is literally why this is testing out. This is playing around with this, is to find out what I can do and how the ultimate result will end up looking. And this is cool.
Yeah, Carl Sagan would approve.
Well, yes, we have the cosmos in our eyes.
Billions and billions of stars.
I still love that one fucking picture of the Hubble telescope, that the Hubble telescope is focused on literally a completely black part of the night sky, and it was given like a long-term exposure, and it ended up pulling up all of these galaxies.
Yeah.
In the distance.
Yeah, I mean, that shit sure does put things into perspective. Goddamn, there's a lot out there.
And it's like, that was a completely black part of the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that had any evident light coming through that we could even see. And so Hubble, peering into the darkness, saw an array of what, like, again, if you minimize the picture a little bit, it ends up looking like, oh, that's a cool bunch of stars. And then you zoom in, and they're galaxies. Their entire galaxy is being captured, and the picture is so huge and so full of all of these galaxies that it looks like a burst of stars, but no! It's a burst of galaxies, and we can barely fathom the size of our neighborhood. We can barely conceptualize the size of a city. We are so unable to process the size of our entire planet that we're right back with the fucking flat earthers again for some reason.
Yeah.
Never mind the concept of our entire solar system, which we still don't really understand all of that well. And so, the concept of even understanding our own home galaxy, the Milky Way, we can't even think of, like, adjacent solar systems to us, never mind an entire galaxy. We do not have the brain power to fathom it. And so take that, times thousands upon thousands of galaxies, and then think about the fact that people keep insisting that there's no way that life has occurred on other planets, and then go,
Yeah, like the thing that always fucking boggled my mind with all that, I think starting in like junior high when I first heard about this concept, is that in a weird sense we may have originally come from one of those motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm assuming you know about the Stardust theory.
I guess rehash it a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So long story short, like there are certain scientific theories revolving around the idea that certain microbes or bits and pieces of elements called stardust may have made their way to a still forming Earth from other galaxies or other solar systems and started life anew. So basically, in a weird sense, all life on Earth may have come from another planet, like from another fucking galaxy.
There's that. There's also the possibility that we may have just literally been the first little bits of life that originally appeared on Mars, but then Mars probably moved out of what we call the Goldilocks zone for life, and ended up getting a little bit too cold to be able to endure. But those same microbes might actually be what was the start of life on this planet, which really puts the War of the Worlds in a very different light when you think about that.
Absolutely, and like anyone in the chat who may have played the video game Spore, if you remember the opening like cutscene of a fucking hunk of ice and rock falling to like the newly forming planet and then life coming out of that's essentially the Stardust theory to an extent.
Yep.
Like, simplified, but yeah. And I just think shit like that is fucking amazing, because that's just it. Like migratory life is a fascinating subject in and of itself, like whether it's like invasive species or like regional variants of specific species. You got the Galapagos Islands and all that shit. It stands to reason that shit ain't outside the realm of possibility on a planetary scale.
It's just no. But I do have. All right, come on, you. I could literally make her eyes shine with gold.
I mean, it would be in character.
That actually looks kind of cool. Let's test that on. This is literally, like I said, me playing around with this program to see how it would look on the final result. Ophelia feels like the perfect test model for all of this.
And I will say, it blends in nicely with the yellow gleam on the eyes.
Well, the yellow gleam is what I'm trying to get rid of.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I'm trying to get rid of this thing. How dare you?
I mean, abiogenesis is a fascinating subject enough. Like, I briefly touched on it in like one of my newer episodes, but like there's so much more to it. And like we figured out a bunch of possible shit that may have happened, but nothing like definitively definitive. And that's the thing I fucking adore about science, is that nothing is ever definitively decided. We just come up with, hypotheses, and then we either do or don't collect enough evidence to support that hypothesis to the extent of forming a theory. Like, to anyone who says, like, science is proven thus and thus, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because that's not how science works.
Well, science is basically a bunch of assumptions that we kind of start slowly either confirming or, well, proving wrong.
Yeah.
Let's just give her literal gold.
Yeah.
Gold in her eyes. I have a lot of really cool brushes, guys.
John Morrison actually raises another interesting point, how like oftentimes whole planets in fiction will be themed around like one specific like ecosystem, or like
as opposed to the multitude of temperates of ecosystems that we have on Earth. Yeah.
I don't think ecosystem was the right term on my part, but like you know what I'm talking about, like forest planet / water planet / desert planet.
Ecosystem is correct in that sense, I think.
That's fair. But yeah, ooh, I like the pattern of that. I forget what exactly that specific pattern reminds me of.
Gold.
Like yeah, I mean specifically the pattern. It's not an Ankh, but it's something else. Yeah, I'll find it later. But because that's the thing. Like depending on like Goldilocks zones and all that, like where in a particular star system a planet may be located, like it's not necessarily outside the realm of possibility that like planets could be themed around specific like a biome, I think is the type of word I was looking for.
Yeah, probably.
But but I think it is in all probability far more likely that planets capable of sustaining life as we know it, and I'll stress that life as we know it, are more likely to have multiple different types of biomes.
Yeah.
Of course, this is only based on, knowledge I currently have of, again, life as we know it. And even life as we know it is kind of fucked in a lot of ways that we don't fully understand.
Meaning aliens in our lifetime, I mean, depending on who you believe, they might already be here.
I mean, exactly.
I mean, they did recently make the announcement that, like, yeah, no, we've actually confirmed the presence of aliens.
Yeah, just way the fuck over our heads.
We were a little focused on the end of the world.
Yeah. To be fair, I can understand prioritizing that.
A little bit.
God.
Alright.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are probably in the post Area 51 invasion depression of, like, focus on aliens at that time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get my alien waifu, therefore any actual news about aliens out there is irrelevant.
We can't even get along with other Americans. I really think we can get along with entirely different species.
Valid fucking point, unfortunately. We are a ways away from Star Trek, unfortunately.
They were very optimistic about our timeline for being able to get along with
ourselves.
Non-human species.
Yeah.
Yeah, ourselves. Never mind non-human species.
Oddly enough, I think the most realistic approach to that concept came from a fucking spin-off series that takes place in the alternate timeline where humans killed and enslaved the fucking Vulcans at first contact.
I wonder. Sometimes I wonder. You guys can't even see me working because I keep forgetting the toggling of the VR studio itself.
Yeah, I get you. Oof. Oof, Ian. At least we're close to Star Wars. I hate how accurate that is.
If aliens are real, I really hope they come with spaceships better than ours. Presumably.
I mean, yeah, presumably, and hopefully not owned by private corporations.
I think I like this overall pattern. I think I'm going to add one official eye shine to it. But if aliens show up, I might encourage them to turn around and run away. We're nowhere near friendly enough yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with that.
It makes me think of that fucking B-movie from ages ago, Angry Red Planet, where, like, these fucking astronauts land on Mars, like, most of them get killed the fuck off, and then when they get back home, they find this fucking voice recording left for them by the Martians saying, "Don't come fucking back. We've been watching you since you crawled your way out of the primordial ooze. Like, you motherfuckers are not nearly mature enough to handle, hanging with us. Like, you're free to explore your own fucking planet and destroy each other. Don't bring that shit here, or we will stomp you back into the ooze from which you came." Paraphrasing, but
Let's see if I can't get the right effect. Okay, and then
yeah, another thing with aliens, specifically aliens in fiction, is like, I feel like a major fault of alien fiction is that in a lot of them we tend to sort of default to the idea of, oh, they must be just like us.
Well, because here's the thing, and I should probably, I think I may have even touched on this before, but
yeah.
in, I gonna need to do an episode in Symbolism of Lore. I need to get back to work on those.
Yeah.
But basically, the whole concept of aliens are supposed to be a representation of how we view ourselves. Similar to how I talked about in Monsters, how they're sort of like a representation of the things that we are actually afraid of in our world as it is. It's like the monsters, either the more human they are, the more we are actually exemplifying how afraid we are of a particular human behavior.
Yeah.
But aliens are literally about contrasting what we take for granted, and I did not do that correctly. Anyway, how we view ourselves from the inside versus how a species that did not grow up with our culture sees us. Alternatively, whether or not a species comes to us either in peace or if they come to invade.
Yeah.
To try and fix us. Okay. I actually really like that. I think that works. Sparkly-eyed Ophelia.
Yeah, and like you definitely raise a good point with that. And like with that in mind, I think one of the best approaches are like aliens that visually, aesthetically look nothing like us, but the more time we get to actually know them, the more we can find like common fucking grounds. Like, plus I just like the creativity of coming up with shit that we've never actually fucking seen before, aesthetically.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like, I subscribe to the fucking... wow, I feel bad for fucking blanking on the guy's name, but, motherfucker who came up with Cthulhu. What's his face?
Lovecraft. But it's okay to forget. It's okay to forget his name.
Yeah, all things considered. But I again, not a fan of the guy himself. That said, I subscribe to the idea of aliens and beings from other realms of space that we can't fucking fathom because they're nothing like anything we've seen before.
So now let me ruin your life. There you are.
Turnabout is fair play. I ruin yours all the time.
That's what happens when you remove the default layer for the sclera. In case you know what the whites of your... If you did not know what the whites of your eyes are officially called, they're called the sclera.
Like, also, like, feel free to, like, say, you know, if you're not in the same school. I've always liked the idea of, like, just the aesthetic of black sclera in, like, character designs. Because it's sort of something that sort of makes you, like, look twice, and I think it draws more emphasis to the eyes, and therefore makes you more, like, curious about, like, because I know a lot of people will go, like, in the direction of, like, oh, let's have an insectoid, like, or animalistic iris, and that's how, especially, like, in the fucking early and late aughts, that's how a lot of OC designs tend to go, with, like, the specialized pupils and, like, irises. Honestly, I think unique sclera are a lot more interesting.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple of designs. So, just as a brief little sidestep thing anyway. So now, I'm gonna move on to something else, but even just to show how useful this program is, if you go to Camera Exporter, so it's the tab over on the far right on the top of this, you can actually, first of all, she's already blinking, you can actually choose. Alright, let's first of all bring her a little bit more on screen, zoom out a smidge more, tilt her more towards the camera. So, you can actually set her into different poses. And they actually have preset animations that you can load into this thing.
Nice.
Swinging back and forth, just how to see how your character would look in motion.
Yeah. Getting a little exercise in.
Or if you want her to kick your ass.
I mean,
I mean, I'm gonna kick your ass. 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 I
Ah, yes, the Tycho approach.
Or let's make her walk. This is slightly weird because her torso is barely moving, but, Run, Ophelia, run!
Run, bitch! Run!
Is she supposed to be blinking? Yes, she is.
Yeah.
They can't make the iris blue if they do that. All I see is sands.
I mean, that's the nature of, like, mimetic culture, my friend. God damn, she's gotta jump.
Yeah. Hey!
I'm open. Jesus. Jumping 3 is, like, literally just or it's either 2 or 3, it's literally just that end of, like, the after-school special. Yeah! Freeze frame.
Damaged. I don't like that.
God.
We're not going to panty shot this.
There's enough of that in these types of models as it is.
Yeah. Studying animation by myself ruined my entire vision about animation. Yeah, that's a mood.
Yeah.
Female animation versus male animation? Alright, let's give this a fucking look.
Oh, God.
Of course, the default standby for a male is arms at side.
Uh-huh. Mom says it's my turn on the Xbox.
Okay, but these gestures are far more Ophelia.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, her shoulder comes out of her shirt.
Oh. She's drunk. Like beer.
One of the standbys is literally a fucking fight pose.
I mean...
Okay, walk.
Is that not Ophelia?
God.
God.
Jumping for a male jump.
Let's see. I'm waiting for it. Oh. Oh, I see.
And of course, these are the differences between the male animations and female animations.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so the male animation gets the fucking bow.
Uh-huh.
And the salute.
Yeah.
Oh, look at these standard anime tropes in terms of animations. Oh, it's only guys who get it, I guess.
I guess. That's how Mafia works.
Combat is exclusively the male domain, of course. Sure you can!
Hadouken!
Well, you're gonna literally see, I think it's the Shoryuken.
Yeah, that's literally a Shoryuken.
Posing zero. Oh, God.
Oh, boy. What are we in for? I can't wait. You know? This pose has been passed down the Armstrong family for generations.
Alright, I'm gonna go back to... Wait a second! Hang on! Male animation poses T-posing, the legs are further apart than the female posing. The female posing tilts the feet inward.
You know?
In case you wanted to know that this program absolutely defaults to anime stereotypes.
Oh, yes.
Fus. Roda!
Fudora, motherfucker.
So, interestingly enough, a feature of this program... Alright, let's tilt this slightly more. You can enable the blinking versus you can disable it. And also, you can have it stay fixed on the camera at every angle so that she is always looking at you no matter where you put the camera. You can also disable that. so that whichever direction you have her face, I'm gonna have her just continuously stare at the camera. These animations are so bad that they're hilarious. They're just basically, you know, there to give you an idea, I guess.
Oh, yeah. God, also, I know this is a little random, and I apologize, but I was briefly going through Twitter, and I found something that's definitely a mood regarding some of these fucking, like, goddamn poses.
Yes. Alright. But so you can even adjust, like, the expressions to see how they look, and you can, like, select to which degree. I don't know why your mouth needs to be open to be sad.
Gotta let the emotion all out, like, oh. God, you know what? Like, the more I see you, like manipulate the emotions, the more I'm convinced I have seen this fucking model in VR chat.
Probably.
Yeah. Like, I've definitely seen people, like, do their own takes on it. So, yeah, goddamn. Huh. Well, the more you know.
Okay. It's gonna sound weird to you. Oh, that's rage if I ever saw it.
Oh, bring on the rage.
That's more like a disappointed emotion than a sad one.
Oh.
I mean, on VR chat, there's a lot of people using customized anime characters, so I guess it's the same model all over again.
I mean, I've seen variants, so it's not always this specific model, but I definitely recognize some of the specific facial features. Oh, well, I can't wait to see what we have in store. Oh! Oh! Hi, everybody!
Ophelia, what have I done? Ophelia, my child.
Now that's a serious case of lockjaw if I've ever seen it.
So you know what's actually funny? I just watched a couple of episodes of Sweet Home on Netflix.
Oh.
This has given me callbacks to that. Also, I'm enjoying it, but I also have, like, a weird squick thing where it's like, if you show me someone's hands getting stabbed with something, I will flinch and hide and run away. But you give me, like, body horror like this, and I'm just kind of like, huh, cool. Or, oh, that's interesting. I will say that the Sweet Home on Netflix, first of all, apparently not based off of the video game / movie that were, yeah, no, they're not actually related. I did not know that. Huh. It's actually based off of a webtoon, apparently.
Huh.
Oh yes, and you can adjust the eyebrows. The eyebrows can be smiling. The eyebrows can be sad.
I mean, that's just it. If the eyes are the windows to the soul, then the eyebrows, I suppose, are the fucking curtains.
Okay, but I will say that for a default Ophelia expression, the eyebrows being slightly tilted down makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's peak her. Well, no pun intended.
But just as a general default.
Yeah.
Sad eyebrows with the smile just looks mocking. I mean, yeah.
Well, again, that's Ophelia.
Well, actually, this, with a little bit of the smiling and the sad, this looks more like trying to be reassuring, which, again, you play with, like, different aspects of the expression, because there's, like, the first ones that I was playing with were actually, like, universal effects, so to speak. So you play with, say, just the eyebrows and do a little bit of the smiling, and you can affect the overall look.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting. Like I said, this is why I'm playing around with this, is to kind of experiment with it, to see how it looks. But that said, let's restore her to a neutral. And I'm going to move to the other thing. And my computer is having a time of it. Jeez. Alright. Let's see. So. Hair. Hair is something that you can edit. You can design your own hair, and that's actually one of the features that this one this program actually like explicitly touts. I actually had to watch a tutorial today to try and figure out how I want to do this, but I did find out that what I want to do in order to get a very specific effect with her hair is I can create multiple layers.
Can I also just say I like that the wireframe that they have for like arranging the hair looks like a fucking Faraday cage.
Well, I mean, so, alright, welcome back, I guess, Crystal's Dode.
Yeah.
How's it going, Dode?
How's it going, dude?
Alright, let's see. That actually put it where I wanted. So I was struggling for the longest time because, like, the default pose on this was not actually attaching it to her head. And I was like, well, those are supposed to be actually connected with her head. But every time I do that, it changes the shape for the entire head. And then I realized that you can add more layers. Add a freehand group. So go to hair 2, and I can do, so freehand group 1 versus hair 2, I guess? Oh, that's, okay, so freehand group 1, this one's, let's, can I toggle visibility on that?
Knit 1, hair 2.
So, wait, am I drawing on the same layer? Oh, yes I am. Okay, add freehand group 2. Okay, let's see. No, it's still...
Sorry, I just saw the moment where it went from the top of Ophelia's head through her mouth and then out her chin.
Alright, I'm confused. Okay, so that created a new layer that's not squished. Okay. Okay. So that did not. Okay. So let's see. That one is not the squished one. So this was, say, the one that I was doing before, and you notice that I draw that on the side. It does not attach to the head. It hangs out kind of floating somewhere outside of the head. But if I were to go back to that first one, where it is actually attached to the head, and if I were to be drawing on that layer, and I tried to do the same thing, it would just go through the face. Ow.
Huh.
Or it curves against her face, but that's not where I want the rest of her hair to be. I just want the sides of her hair to be at the size of her head. Oh yeah, if I wanted to give her emo hair, I absolutely could.
This is honestly reminding me of my sister's hair when she was in high school. Except it was orange.
Let's give her the emo hair. Cover her face, alright.
God. full bowl cut.
So...
I mean, that's just it. Like, bowl cut is not a look you see often with female characters. I mean, one can argue for a reason, but I honestly think it's not the worst look for a female character or characters in general.
No. Is that girl going to be your 3-day avatar? No. At least not in general.
Hmm.
Alright.
She might want to stick with 2 or maybe even 4 days, depending.
Okay. It's more like English sheepdog hair. I mean, yeah. Let's see.
God. See, now I'm just flashing back to like my trip to fucking Scotland ages ago, and just seeing those fucking woolly ass cows they have over there. Like, I forget what the specific like type of cow is called, but like I assume you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I kind of. Sorry, you're also like. Well, I'm trying to concentrate on something.
Ah, fair.
Let's see. So then I would even go to the texture. I think? No, I would go back to the design. But, yeah, that's the one I want. Okay, so that goes a little bit too far in. I just want it to be pretty much straight down. And then, because now I have the hair on there, I can adjust. So I want this actually closer to the head too. That creates an easier line for me to follow. That's where the issue was. Okay, cool. Alright. So now I have the texture where I want it to be. Alright. So now I can do the same thing on this one. And now... Oh yeah. Shade color... Do I just... I think I just do... Oh, I just set it to the same as that one. Shade color as... Jesus Christ, come on. How do I drop her? Because I normally just right click for that. Well, oh, maybe that's how. There we go. Alright, there we go. Alright. No, thanks, I'm done with that. Put that away. There we go. Okay. So this way I can see it without having the shade interrupt my view. Then I can actually... Let's see. Oh. Position, twist, smoothness, curve, fluffy. Position Y. Oh! Okay, just detached it from her head. That's fine. Alright. I'm gonna go back to drawing her hair. And of course now it's moved really far. Did you just type a JoJo reference a few chats ago? Yes, probably.
God.
And yes, Ophelia has discovered hair dye.
It's like, so here's the thing. Like, I tried getting into JoJo. I made it like maybe halfway through the first episode, couldn't get into it. But I will say, banger ass music. Sorry, just I felt it worth mentioning that there's this guy. Apparently her fucking stand turns her into a mummy.
Well, I didn't ask your opinion on that.
God. That sure reminds me of that one motherfucker from My Hero Academia who could create extra muscles outside his body.
I don't want these words to be said.
And yeah, that's what people keep coming back for.
It's really not.
You're right. Clearly, it's for my natural charm.
Okay, so why? Okay.
You're not wrong, Ragnar.
Oh, okay, so it did tighten up there. That's why I'm running into that difficulty. Okay. Well, my computer is having an interesting time processing all of this.
It's always fun.
But, okay. So, I want this to be a little bit tighter against the head. Alright, that's what I want. That's what I want. A little bit closer. I can hear my computer trying to keep up with this.
Ooh.
Not always a good sign, but...
Yeah.
Okay, can't change that. But okay, so I'm gonna try now doing what I want to do with this. Where are they showing up? Why are they not showing up on the texture here? It's creating them, but I don't know where they're creating them.
God. Also, I see you, Ian. Yes, I'm a real man. Would you like to go skateboards?
Okay, well, it seems to be claiming to be creating Oh, what are you doing?
Also, you joke, Phoenix, but Ophelia deadass is a mistress of disguise.
Literally, one of her powers is
Disguise self.
okay.
Ragnar raises a good point. It might be using a lot of your RAM.
It probably is. Well, I mean, that's just it. I might just do, again, to show one of the basic ideas, assuming that it lets me fucking draw on, there we go. Alright, that's a little bit against the head, more than I want it to be. So, pull that out just a smidge, there we go, pull that out just a smidge, pull that out just a smidge, there we go. Alright. And...
I mean, that's just it. Like, both Ophelia and my character in the campaign, Owen, are actually very good at disguising themselves. Though with Owen, it's because he has a specific magical item called the Mask of Disguise, which is a derivative of the item Hat of Disguise that I was able to arrange with the DM of this particular campaign. Those bangs are coming out pretty well.
oh yeah.
You know, when they're not feeding in through her chin.
Okay, let's see. See, what I'm trying to do is I'm also trying to model what's going to be her hair.
I thought you might be going for something like that.
Which is going to be some time from now, but she's going to have a very different style of hair once she goes through something of a personal arc. What is the most boring? I have no idea. I like to disguise self. So, in Ophelia's case, by the way, the reason why she can disguise herself is because she is a warlock who literally can disguise self at will. She took that Eldritch Invocation, which was like the Mask of Many Faces or something like that.
Yeah, she got that Eldritch drip.
So she is able to literally adjust her visual appearance at will. Now, it's just visual. So it's not like an actual physical change. You have to use like alter self for that. There is an Eldritch Invocation for that, by the way.
But in Ophelia's own words, I would imagine, why would I want to impede upon perfection?
Oh, texture. That's what I'm adjusting. Okay, let's make this bigger. There we go. Okay. Can you not keep moving out of frame? That'd be great. Why is this hair coming from my chin? Is this what puberty does to me?
Depending.
Yeah. There are some girls for whom that is, in fact, the experience.
Yeah. It's just how you do.
Alright. Just smoothing some stuff over.
Moving it right along.
So you can, as a matter of fact, paint out each lock of hair as you want them to be.
Which is pretty fucking fancy, all things considered.
Uh-huh. Okay, so let's see. How does this look? Okay, this is definitely coming along. I might do some slight adjustments, and I think I need to...
God damn.
Alright, let's... So I need to do it from this angle so that I'm making sure to cover the front of her face. Not the cover front of her face, but so that there's not a major gap there.
Yeah, just not give the appearance of it's all coming from her forehead.
Right. Okay. And I'm going to be probably making a new layer. Ah, right, that's not what that... Okay. Because her hair also gets really stand-uppy in the back. So let's see how this looks. Okay, much better, I think. Okay, there we are. All right. So... edit, redo. There we go. So yeah, if I want to get to the really making it stick up in the back part, I'm going to be doing another layer.
Yeah, getting into that Sung Wukong territory.
But I just want to make sure that her base hair feeds up into it properly.
Yeah.
Come on. That's not what I wanted you to do, but that's fine.
You can do it.
Oh, that's right, because it's... Alright. Yeah, this works. Actually, let's bring that down just a little bit. And now it's looking like a fucking chocolate puff.
God, you're not wrong. Like one of those fucking like chocolate covered like chestnut things.
There we go. Chestnut things?
It might not actually be like a chestnut, but it's like where it's like it's coated in chocolate. It's like a really soft nut inside.
Yeah, I think I know kind of what you're talking about. Apologies, because like I said, I'm just like trying to fine tune something here.
Yeah, I get you.
But
yeah, it's like some sort of specific chocolate truffly type thing.
Okay.
Yeah, not like those Rocher things, which are just like a bunch of teeny nut bits.
Well, that's certainly something you just said.
It is, in fact, which has additional hilarity given our social groups.
Yeah, a little bit.
Boy. To be fair, at the end of the day, we're all just, little bitty nut bits.
I want you to take that word away.
Which one, nuts or bits?
Yes.
Give me the bits.
Alright, so tighten that. Alright. So overall this is looking okay.
Yeah, it ain't bad.
So I'm gonna do a quick thing and save. Why is this hair coming from my chin? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was an older one.
That was an older one. I was just checking with the chat. I assumed y'all were still talking. Okay.
They're holding their breath in anticipation.
Words don't ever.
Just
don't ever words.
I have a video essay series.
Yeah, which is why I said words don't ever. Okay, so actually, alright, let's move this.
God, I'm coming up on 2 years since I started making those videos.
Which, I mean, I'm personally glad for.
Thank you.
Okay. Wait. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I selected the wrong group. Okay.
Sorry to say there's a black hole at the back of your head.
Yeah, a little bit. Little bit.
I mean, to be fair, that is where the occipital lobe is. And again, eyes are the windows to the soul. I'm reaching, but...
When aren't you?
Yeah, fair. Hey kids, can you tell that I studied neuroscience in college?
Okay, so I think let's pop this. So that's not what I want for that. All right, so let's give this a shot to see if this actually does what I want it to do. Like I said, I'm figuring this out like literally as I go along with you guys here.
Yeah, we're on this journey together.
Okay, so no, because I wanted to curl out. Okay. Or I want it to be starting from her scalp and then raising up.
That one kind of reminded me of a moth antenna.
Why is it moving that whole quadrant? Is it because I need that one to be higher? Ooh, maybe that's why. Yeah. So then these I just make, I guess, in? Let's give that a shot. That doesn't quite look right, but let's see if that works. I mean, it's closer to what I want, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm literally learning this as I go, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Let me... This feels weird, But, right, bring that in a little bit more. Bring that in a little bit more. It's also, like I said, I'm new to modeling in just about every sense here. I'm just still figuring this out. Alright, well, oh, that's what it was. Okay, let's bring these up to actually match it. Let's see if that works. Closer. It's a little bit too far off of the head. Okay. So...
It reminds me of that one fucking... Like the protagonist of like the second Danganronpa game.
The main character?
Yeah, like the player character.
Oh, Hajime?
I think like the one dude like who's like the new model version of the main character from the first game.
Oh, so you're you're thinking of Komaeda.
No, not Komai. Well, I guess they both kind of represent him, don't they? But yeah, no, I didn't. I meant less Komaeda and more like the actual character you play as, because he has the one fucking thing of hair sticking up.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the overall shape of the head, which I was like...
Nah, I apologize for not clarifying.
Okay, so I want it to come down a little bit before swooping back up. That's what I'm looking to do. So then... Okay. I wanted to swoop first down. I don't want to go all the way down, but how do I do that then? Well, I mean, this is again trial and error to see. There it is. Oh, so slightly. That's much closer though to what I want to do.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. We are making progress.
Yeah,
this is kind of fun.
Boop.
Swoop that boop.
Yes.
All right. Let's try this.
Or to pull out like early aughts meme vernacular, swoop da whoop.
I guess. And then... Where did I do? Okay. Down a little bit. And then was that? Okay, that brings it down through the top of the head, which is not quite what I want. So...
Getting closer, though.
Yeah, I am. Should probably... Okay. Let's see, does that work? Closer. It's still a little bit too close to the actual head, I think.
Yeah, just barely clipping. Ooh, that's...
Well, you're not live as to what I'm currently doing.
Yeah. I mean, even so, with each progressive attempt, it looks like it's getting closer and closer to not clipping.
Okay, so why is that so wavy?
I mean, would we expect anything less fabulous from Ophelia?
Okay, so that means I'm definitely making it too bumpy here. It can't figure out what to do. Okay.
Well, now she looks like a Phoenix Wright character. Somewhere in the distance, I can hear Jane going, "Yes!"
A Phoenix Wright character?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mentioned this is me trying to discover how to do this, guys. Oh, let's see. That's closer. Now at least it's not clipping through the top of her head. But the problem is that I want it to swoop down and then back up. Oh, shit! I just realized what I'm doing wrong.
Oh?
Okay. So, bring it down. Alright, bring that to that part. If I want to swoop it back up again, I need to bring the other part back up. Alright, let's try something like that. I am idiot, but I'll get there. Alright.
I'm Babby.
There we are! Okay, I am on the right track now.
Nice. Success!
Okay, so I want these to still be around where that is, but the reason I am confusing some things here is because the part that I want to have swoop up, I want it to go down first. Okay, let's see. Fine-tuning, and this is, like I said, why I'm practicing this now. Okay, so did that swoop up? It did a little bit. Okay. Let me try manipulating this with the actual thread there. To see what parts are moving when I move what thing. Okay. That's not helping anything. Okay, that's not helping anything. That is. Okay, so this needs to go down a little bit more. This needs to go down just a little bit. This is still pretty wonky, but I'm definitely getting it closer. So, okay, that's a little bit too much of a dip. Okay. Okay. Why is it pulling down at the very end? That's what I don't know. Okay. I mean, she has the one antenna, but I'm trying to fix it. Ophelia totally slams tables. Welcome to Crack Fox Jr. Oh, hey, Crack Fox Jr.
Hello.
It's been a while since you've been in the stream. Sorry, I was a little fixated on what am I doing wrong. Are you going to tell me that I'm wrong?
Am I wrong? She wore a crown and she came down in a bubble, Doug. I especially love the piano accompanied version of that. For anyone who doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, there was a rather famous / infamous meme video a while back of this dude having like an unreasonably heated argument with another person in a house over like whether or not the Wicked Witch of the East was a princess. Basically, his arguments were that she was pink, she wore a crown, and she came down in a bubble. She had a magic wand. And some fucking mad lad by the name of, let me see if I can find the dude's name. God, where was it? But anyway, I'll remember his name later. So some motherfucker who's a skilled musician and music enthusiast decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna actually write out and play the actual musical chords accompanied with each of these syllables in this rant. And the result was fucking marvelous. Let's see here. Charles Cornell, that's who it was. Fucking hilarious dude. He's done a fair number of like piano accompaniments to various meme videos over the years. That's not as much of the focus of his content anymore, which is understandable because he wants to move on to other things where he primarily talks about like why different pieces of music work, and I recommend watching those videos too. But like it's just watch his content. Motherfucker is hilarious, and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to music.
Okay, so what's causing the problem here? Okay. That's still wonky, but I think I got it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. I might even like. Do you mind if I put that fucking video in the chat?
Go ahead, although you may want to add the context for it, like, as you're saying it.
I mean, I just spent about 5 minutes or so doing just that.
I mean, because you're going to be lagged about 10 seconds behind.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. So, yeah, I'm about to put in the chat the link to the video I just described. And I'm going to put that in here. So you'll see what we mean.
So let's see. Okay. Does that otherwise keep it the way I want it to be? No.
Yeah.
It does not what I want it to do.
What can brown do for you?
Jesus Christ. Okay. He knows the lick. Mod, someone put a link in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Duly noted. I'll track down the motherfucker if it takes me the rest of my life.
What the fuck are you talking about, sir? Wait.
What are any of us talking about? That's right, Ian. He also did a musical adaptation of that one kid. Like, have you ever had a dream where you went you do what you want? It's just fucking. It's astounding sometimes just how musical. Because we take for granted, I think, how many fucking like patterns appear in our everyday speech, and just how musical those can get if you really pay close enough attention to them. Like, I'm no linguistic or cultural anthropologist, but I do find that shit fascinating.
One of the reasons why we find music as interesting as we do is literally because the way we structure our speech patterns are kind of similar to how we structure our music.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it's really easy to actually, quote-unquote, harmonize with even just spoken word shit.
Yeah. I think one of the most interesting approaches to that also is like one of the ways that has that a very unique balance between just talking patterns and like musical and lyrical like theory. Fucking rap battles, man, especially the ones where you have to make shit up at the top of your head. That is not an easy thing to do. And I think like rap has, well, oddly enough, a bad rap because of how it's been sort of abused in like the music industries. But like if you go back to like its roots and like just the core of what rap is, like it's really fucking fascinating and just an accomplishment in and of itself, just how creative people can get with just the right balance of like lyrics and momentum of beat and like, especially like, again, thinking on the fly on how to approach a specific subject or individual when they're brought up in the moment. Like, again, I have never been and will never claim to be an expert on rap in any way, shape, or form. I just think it's fucking neat. You know, insert Marge Simpson quote here.
Okay, so the problem is that it's not Okay. I think I get it now. I think I get it. Maybe that's the problem. So, bring that down just a little bit. Bring it up just a little bit. Okay. So this looks like a weird model. Ah, that's much closer.
Yeah, now we're getting into like Tron bike helmet territory.
I don't want it to be quite that thick, but
I mean,
okay. So now I need to stop having it be embedded in her skull. Need to adjust that. Right, so is that okay? That's a little too far out.
Oddly enough, Ian, that doesn't scare me as much as you might think, because I also have perfect pitch. Like, I remember it scaring the shit out of, or at least kind of weirding my parents out sometimes when I would say shit like, oh, that wind is in G. So I understand that's something you can definitely, it's useful as a parlor trick, definitely, but also definitely helps you sort of, especially when we're working with like themes in music, especially like musical like theater or things like that, you can pick up on recurring things like that. So there's a lot of fun things you can do with perfect pitch. Damn it, you're immune. But yeah, perfect pitch definitely has a lot of uses in both like music writing and just all sorts of creative endeavors. Although it's also a bit of a curse, especially when like you're recording something, like whether it's instrumentation or vocal shit, and you keep realizing, oh, there's this one fucking part I can't get right. I have to do it over. Because I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to like content I make, and at some points when it comes to like specifically like video stuff, there will be a point where I go, fuck it, it's good enough. Like I'll be the only person who notices this one thing, but. Especially when it comes to like musical stuff, that's where I really like come down on myself hard, trying to get things into like what is in my mind an adequate final product.
That is really close.
Yeah.
I'm still not getting the start point where I want it to be. Maybe that's why. Let's try that. That's what I want. Okay.
Alright.
That's where I want that to be, and that's why I was having problems with that, was that I had it embedded in the front of her skull. And that doesn't work for much. Alright. No, Portland! You're having a blast here, program, aren't you? I just want her hair to be sufficiently swoopy. That is sufficiently swoopy.
Remember, kids, all you have to do is bitch enough at a piece of technology, and eventually it'll magically start working.
That's how life works.
Yeah, that's how Mafia works.
Okay. So the top of the head's a little bit too high. Scooch that down just a smidge. I see how that works. I started that in the wrong place. Again, you're going to see it like a few seconds behind.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. What happened there? That's something I need to fix. But it's a little bit better. I just need to bring that down over there.
I guess the program is going from U to Y. I see.
Griffin was in Pitch Perfect.
God.
I am not pitch perfect, but I do notice, like, when I miss something.
Hmm.
Like, when I'm not quite on the right pitch. I just don't know how to fix it. And that's kind of the reason why I get really frustrated and why there aren't more song covers on my channel.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it's the same for me, because here's the thing. Just because I have perfect pitch doesn't mean I can necessarily do anything about it in the moment. Like, again, that's why I fucking have multiple fucking takes that I usually end up just throwing the fuck out, because there's one little thing that I either can't change through a little editing tweaking, or there's just one fucking click that's so embedded in the actual audio wave that I can't do anything about. So oftentimes I'll go through just like multiple takes of having to throw shit out, which is not really an adequate long-term solution for if you want to make like multiple song covers or things like that.
What is creating a ridge here? Is it that these... I guess? Okay, what's this? Okay, just went further into her head. Good.
What's this? What's this? What's causing all the ridge?
Okay. What is that connected to? That's not what I wanted to collect.
No, I don't wanna do that.
I am not a master modeler. I am the very man. I am the very. Anyway, try lowering the point with at the sides, like those curves are making weird shapes on the sides of her head. Yeah, like I said, I would go and find
Like the exact point.
Okay, so that's interesting in itself. I actually kind of like that if it were actually accurate to her design. But like, okay. Yeah, like that. 10 seconds ago. There's that lone point on the back of her head that makes all the hair. Well, because I want it to be a little wibbly wobbly.
Timey-wimey.
No, don't you dare. This isn't your Doctor Who.
This ain't your daddy's Doctor Who.
Because I want it to go swoop down oh so slightly and then come back up at the top. But there's a ridge right around the front of her crown that I don't know what's causing that. Well, that seemed to work a little bit. Let's see. Okay.
God, what have I done? I see you, Ian.
This is stuff exterminate. Okay, so... Okay. I
mean, I will say, the Daleks have a special place in my heart for a couple reasons. Like, number one, the first full episode of Doctor Who I ever saw was the Christopher Eccleston episode where they reintroduced the Daleks. And secondly, the first actual voice acting gig I got, not paid, but the first actual group project style thing I was involved in was a Dalek themed Doctor Who spin-off series called Second Empire. I have no idea what the current status of that series is now because, well, just circumstances that led to me evidently being forgotten by the director. Because, like, the funny thing is, and, like, this is delving into, like, some, like, pulling the curtain back, but I don't fucking care at this point. Like, because I was originally like slated to play 2 characters on this series. The first one, one character I was going to play, the director ended up giving that role to their girlfriend at the time. The reason being, quote unquote, she really, 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 really wanted it. Which, you know, raise eyebrow, but whatever. And
I don't.
The second one.
Okay, sorry.
So the second one, I still supposedly had, but when it came for time for that character I was voicing to debut, the director used a different sound clip from a different actor. They still credited me, but it wasn't me providing the voice in that episode. So, like, I'd already recorded all my shit for the comic anyway, so at this point, fuck it. I have no idea what's going on with that series at this point, and I really don't care. But yeah, because of that, the Daleks have definitely a special place in my heart.
There it is. I think
you found
that's... it might still need a little bit more tweaking, but now I have actually figured out what I needed to adjust.
Nice.
Cool. Alright. So let's make that swoop a smidge smoother. Just a smidge smooth. Oh, 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 oh. Like that. Literally, this is the thing when it comes to modeling, is just the process of tweak it, see how it looks, and once it works, oh good, you're there.
Yeah, that's really any creative endeavor at the end of the day.
Don't bring endeavor into this.
You know what? Fair point. Never again.
I mean, I don't mind characters that require or that have a redemption arc. It just...
Whether or not they deserve them.
Deserving is also one of those subjective things.
Well,
I get it. I don't disagree per se, but it's one of those, ultimately, personally speaking, I have to believe that they're doing it because they have their own reason to do so.
Maybe so. I mean, for me personally, like, it feels like depending on like the amount and or severity of what a character does in a series, I don't think they should always be given the opportunity to be forgiven or to be absolved. Because some things I just feel like, oh, if you did something that fucked up, then no, fuck you. You're bad forever.
Yeah, there's that too. Like, it's like, you had the one chance to not fuck this up, and you couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. And Endeavor had many opportunities not to be a bastard, but he took all of them anyway to be, in fact, the bastard. For the sole reason of, I want to be better than All Might. I don't care who I hurt in the process.
Yeah, and you're right, this is a much simpler program than Blender.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, Kitty. It's a case-by-case thing.
Okay, so let's see what happens when I do more than just the one at a different angle. Okay, let's bring it around here. That's a wobbly edge. But that also depends on where I'm starting it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I think angle has a lot to do with it.
Well, and like I said, this is why I'm playing with it live and on stream.
Yes. We'll do it live!
Well, this is one of those things where I am fairly proud of the progress that I have made with this, but I'm still going to have to work on getting
the
this
approach
exactly right, but I'm going to save it where it is. And probably continue working with this at some other point, but as for now, excuse me, gotta stretch because apparently I do.
Yeah.
I mean, Ophelia's come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
But, this has been my usual stream time. I did get us started a little bit later today anyway, but, this is about the correct amount of time. Yeah, I'm, like, literally right on the mark. I just looked at the time.
Yeah.
I am 3, 2, 1, 2 hours. There we go. Bye, everyone. Okay. Ophelia's definitely come a long way. I'm gonna keep working on how to do the mapping for this particular layer because I don't want it to necessarily be quite that wonky, but I do want it to swoop and then come back up. That's kind of the point with her hair.
Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, close that out. And that's a cat having an argument with himself. But, not gonna get the hay now. Ragnar, thank you. But, thank you guys all for coming by today. I am going to be cutting the stream here, basically. There is Jesus. There is Jesus! I am probably going to continue practicing with this thing, and once I get used to, like, once I'm actually able to figure out how to make Ophelia work, I am probably going to be making another model for Lorelei, aka myself, but it's obviously more the avatar version of myself, but, you know, that's how that be. If that's anything, that's a nice little sign. But thank you guys for joining today. Thank you guys for watching. Now this is going to be the requisite plug in terms of the various ways to support the channel. Obviously there's the Patreon, which I plug a lot. And I will say, and I've mentioned this before, there's going to be some additional bonuses coming to anyone who is a patron, including being able to vote on things in an upcoming streamed campaign. I talked about this quite a bit last time. But it means, like, you can actually help the players or not help the players, as the case may be. But you will have an impact on that as a whole. You can also, there's obviously the coffee.com/mlorelei on the screen. If you want to do that now, just yell into your microphone. Or you can go to that and, again, every little bit actually goes quite a lot close. I'm talking, and that's a good thing, right? Anyway, I'm good at the talking, but if there's, again, any further signs that I need to fucking stop, I do appreciate every bit of support. I'm hoping to be bringing some more of the content that perhaps people might want to chip more into the tip jar for, I guess. But like I said, we'll see how things go. I am excited for this campaign coming up, and I am very excited for where that goes, actually, in terms of the plot. I have made some interesting reveals, so probably sometime in this next week you're actually going to be seeing some announcement videos to that effect. If you need to scream, feel free. Yes, please. Damn, I just unplugged my mic. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Griffin, for joining as co-host again.
Always a pleasure.
And I hope to see you guys next week, both you guys being here and also me being able to come on and stream, because that would be great. I would love it if I could do that consistently. Meanwhile, wish us all luck with tomorrow's Magic of the Mundane session, because we're going to need it.
It's gonna be a doozy.
But anyway, see you next time, guys.
Have a good one.